We're joined by Jonathan Barrett. Jonathan is CEO of Barrett's Bulletin there in Sydney. Jonathan, great to see you. Saw that massive fall last time, since we talked last time, and then we've seen this big comeback here as well. What's going on?
Richard, it's been an incredibly volatile last couple of weeks for the market. A lot of it induced, I think, from a market that was quite long, and also I think the fact that a lot of people now trade online, and as a result of that they can't handle such large moves. And I think that's where we saw a lot of that liquidation. The liquidation obviously came back to levels where people are seeing it as actually very good value, and that's what we've seen over the last week. Just a lot of people feeling there's good value at these levels.
Jonathan, doesn't it really make a mockery of gold being seen as a safe haven if we see a move of about 16% for it?
Look, I think it's something we're learning about in terms of the volatility of the market and how people actually trade it. You really have to look, I guess, the amount of people that actually like to hold it and how they hold it, and as a result of that, not a lot of accounts can actually hold significant funds in order to weather such large moves. And I think that's one of the contributing things, because when you look at the way the move happened on the downside, it was fast, and the faster it picked up, it sort of gathered momentum, which triggered a lot of calls, and all of a sudden we saw a lot of people out of the market. Likewise, a lot of those people that had significant positions are questioning what's really changed out there, and there isn't a lot. And as a result of that, people have said, well, let's get back in. I mean, only recently we had a queue about half a mile long for people wanting to pick up physical, and that's something I haven't seen for about 15 years.
Well, that is a very good point. With the physical side of things looking pretty robust here, how much are people at the moment getting rid of their paper in favour of physical gold?
Well, I think that's been the big change, because we have seen just a marked increase of that physical demand. Remember, the US Mint has run out of the smallest denominated gold coin. Similar for silver gold coins, the silver Regal, they've run out of supply. When you look at India, the #1 consumer of the physical, its imports are up at record levels not seen since 2008, and that's despite an import tax that the Indian government put on it. So I think there is this change of heart that people are saying, well, look, I just want to hold some physical. I think it's safer. You know, with what we saw in Cyprus, where the government, lobbed off 10% of people's wealth, people are saying they want a store of value, but this time they want to hold it.
Would you be a buyer at these levels?
Yes. In fact, I think when I look at it, at this level, until we see some significant change in the concerns that people hold overseas, then I think you'll continue to see gold come into favour. I mean, we've had a dramatic rise. We've heard stories that central banks are getting back in because they think it's good levels. We're seeing the economy sort of slowing, which gives people a clue that stimulus is going to be there. So I think at these levels it's still a buy. And I think, to me, the confirmation that a low will be in place is that when we get back through that 1520 level, we've already broken 1475, so back through 1525 cements a low of some significance, and we could be back on track to reach those highs which we forecast at the beginning of the year.
Let's look elsewhere in the commodities complex here, Jonathan, as well. And, you reckon copper's looking good value at the moment, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Copper had quite a significant sell-off. And as we've known, it's sort of with inventories continuing to rise, people start to question whether or not the stimulus is actually starting to take hold. We are just starting to see the green shoots of demand coming through. We have seen a few orders, particularly coming from China, just over the last couple of days, and that's giving me a good indication that people are looking for value down here, but we're also seeing that demand from the fabricators starting to pick up. So I'm a little bit more encouraged. When I look at copper, I'd really like to see it break back through that $340 $3.40 a pound, and if I do see that, then that'll confirm a low of some significance for me.
Jonathan, great talking to you as ever. Have a great weekend. Jonathan Barrett there from Barrett's Bulletin.